Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Apex Racing TV. Alex Simpson and Conrad Venter for the first round of the iRacing Porsche Cup, or is it the Porsche iRacing Cup? I forget, Conrad. One way or the other, we're at the Nordschleife for the first round. I mean, talk about throw them in the deep end. This should be interesting.
Yeah, it's 20 odd kilometer track, and we were talking beforehand about corner names or segments of the track with names, and it's all in German, and we're going to be absolutely hopeless, but we'll give it our best shot. I'm seeing that the estimated strength of field for this race is about 5,600, so that's nice and healthy, and absolutely blistering time for pole position. So we should be in for a treat.
Well, take us through that grid really quickly as they're starting to form up already.
Pole position, we've got Alexander Mania with a 6-minute 45.8. Ricardo Castrolito just behind him in second place. Third place, Alexander Vop. Lucas Jetstad in fourth. Kim Eriksson in fifth. Sebastian Dinkel in sixth place. Rico Alatalo in seventh. The fourth row is Joseph Valgren with Peter Cotavara in ninth. Rens Brookman in 10th place. Idre Perez in 11th. Mortis Lorna in 12th place, Mikko Malkalaki in 13th, Mika Essays in 14th, David Williams in 15th, Jürgen Frank, Jack Sedgwick, they make up the 8th row of the grid, Kevin Mostert in 18th, Timo Valkiavi in 19th place. Then we've got Manuel Sanchez in 20th, Noel Lindbergh in 21st, and off we go. We've got Alexander Mania keeping the lead. Ricardo Castrolito still in second place. Sebastian Dinkel making up a place into fifth. Kim Eriksson falling back just a little bit. Everybody is through the first couple of corners without any incident.
Yeah, huge turnout today. Like you said, Oh, there is an accident. Riku's around and over.
That
One
looks
of the
like
Inex guys
Alatalo.
and Iberica and Core. Everyone just there's nowhere to go.
Safety car.
Oh God. Well, that's half your field gone.
Let's just have a little look and take stock of who was in there. Alatalo, he is going to be out. Rens Brookman is going to be out. Lorna, well, he ended up on his roof. He's not going anywhere. Adria Perez. Yeah, there's quite a few cars in there. We're all fairly far up the grid as well.
You know what it was, mate? You said before we come in here, you've been watching a few of these top split races and they've been remarkably clean. Well, they must have heard you.
Oh yeah, this keeps happening to me. Last week we were watching or broadcasting a race in a Kia series, and I complimented someone, and it ended up really badly for him in that race as well. So I should just be banned from making any sort of complimentary comments in regards to drivers and racers.
Well, front three pretty close out there as well. Lucas not too far behind them. Kim Eriksson too. So, and then you've got Donko. So top six all fairly close. There's a little gap. Petteri Cotavara. I think the accident sort of happened just behind Petteri, so he was okay. So you've got Mikko behind who just lost a little bit of ground. He was the first person to scramble through unscathed, and then you've got David Williams in the Coanda car there as well, just sort of skating around at the moment. But he had to come through that pack too. And then like I say, there's a few drivers that are still out there that survived. Rens Brookman, he managed to survive the actual accident, but he's quite a bit off at the moment. So
yeah, his car's quite heavily damaged as well. So we'll see. It looks like the car's handling okay. We'll have to see once he gets to the straights how that damage on the front end is affecting the straight line speed. But he's only 4 odd seconds behind Brems. 4 laps, it's a long track. He's not going to be fighting for the win, but he's definitely got an opportunity to make some places back up.
Yep. What's your opinion on this track, Conrad, to racing? I mean, obviously we know these guys practice hard, top of their game, but this is a bit of a different track. This is more about knowing the circuit and knowing the limits of the circuit, rather than perhaps perfecting the car to find that extra tenth or 2/10 of a second. So many places that you can gain and lose time. Oh, that's a good shot.
Yeah, because I think just the sheer amount of corners you've got here, it's so important just to go out and just do laps. It doesn't matter about the time, just learn the track. And we've got this very unique system in iRacing where you don't have to, on this track, you don't have to reset back to the pits. You just reset back to a lay-by and then keep going. Otherwise, you're just going to do that first bit of the track over and over and over again. And you're never going to learn the rest of the track if you keep crashing out. But I mean, like these guys running it in this split in particular, I mean, they will know this track like the back of their hand. And as they go through the carousel, probably the best known part of the circuit.
And one track we need to get a camera pack for as well. We were joking about it earlier on, but yeah, we definitely need one.
That will certainly be useful. Oh, you just look at them coming through this series of corners. I did a race around here in the VW Jetta a couple of weeks ago, and that was pretty easy because the car's not that quick, and it gives you time to think about where you are. With this car, there's no time to think. You have to know where you are.
Problem for Miko. Let's have a look, see exactly what happened to him and his Thrustmaster car there.
The pits is
going to be a solo mistake, I think, here. Oh, he just gets onto the grass and then, yeah. Well, doesn't turn, but he does get the car back off the circuit. So I wondered if a minute if he'd lost sort of control, but of the, with the wheel or something, but it appeared to be. So just got a little bit wide onto the grass and gets straight into the wall.
Yeah, and this that shows you perfectly. There's no room for error, is there? Even if you do know the track, you get just one bit of your wheel on the grass, and it pulls you in, and it sucks you right into a barrier.
Yeah, worth pointing out, we're using trade-in paints, so if you haven't uploaded them, well, they won't be on there. So apologies for anyone that's missing. There's no skin pack or anything like that we've done for this one as well. And if your details are missed, then head on over to the Porsche Cup sub forum. There's a link in there to the broadcast, and you can just fill out your information, and we'll get your details like Ricardo has done.
I mean, coming back to the length of the track, Alex, we've got this neat little feature on our timing screen these days where we show not only the gap in time but in distance as well. The gap between first and second in the moment is only about 80 meters. Going all the way back to Rens Brookman, he's got a gap of nearly 1.3 kilometers between him and the leader.
Bob's gone through on Castrolido as well, and in typical Nordschleife fashion, you can get back in the slipstream and try and come back. So Ricardo having a look, but decides better off it. So so Voss got a chance here to try and close in on Alex ahead of him now.
It's great to see these guys racing through these corners so competently. I mean, for me, for I reckon 90% of us is literally just a case of trying to get around the track. I mean, they are doing close quarter racing around what is a really, really challenging circuit. Right, so they've got the first lap completed. Manea, even with a standing start, first lap of a 6:48, unbelievable.
I've got no idea where I'd be. I'd get lost. That's all I know. I don't know the track at all. Maybe the first couple of corners. That's about it. So, whatever it was I learned in the Gran Turismo days.
Yeah, we'll have to get you out on track at some point and do a couple of laps. Sometimes it's a little bit easier if you follow someone as well.
Jack Sedgwick, he was caught up in that crash as well at the start, but did manage to get through it. I think it was his car who actually launched Riku, wasn't it? I'm not 100% sure on that, so I don't know if there's any others Inex cars out there, but yeah, send it flying.
A little lock up there by Castrolito.
Oh, sorry, just looking at Mika, David Williams and Sedgwick. This is a great little battle. Really all three going at it. And yeah, Mika just basically being shifted to the back of that group. Williams at the front, Sedgwick in hot pursuit.
I'm amazed at how quickly some of these teams and painters have knocked out some of these liveries on the cars, and I've yet to see a really or a bad paint for this car. You look at the Coanda car, Inex just behind them, brilliantly painted cars.
Yeah, we're slacking. We haven't got one done yet, so get out there in your default ones, boys.
It's quality over quantity. This is an excusable use.
That's good to me. Oh, Sedgwick very, very close. There's a little lock up from Williams. It's very easy to lock this car, it is worth saying, and we see a lot of it. Car still does turn in, new time model of course, and so far feedback been very, very positive from the community. So yeah, that's all good. Any other battles going on out there? What's going on back up the front at the moment? So still Armenia pulling away again. He seems to be quick through this infield section, and then the guys just reeling back sort of towards the latter half of the lap.
Oh, this is all about track knowledge. I mean, obviously he's stuck in a pole position lap, and he knows the circuit. But when you come to this middle part and the end part of the track, that's where you sort of sort out the people who can drive the track and those who can't. That's where most of your time is made and lost. Yeah, the gap, like I say, he opens it up and then closes back up again, down to just under 4/10 to Vop at the moment.
I mean, the draft is obviously having some impact to that, with the long sort of sections where the guys are absolutely, pedal to the metal. Yeah, and again, apologies for the weird cameras as well. So just the iRacing default ones today will, hopefully the following races will all be back up to spec. And it's funny, we were having a conversation about this just earlier on. So, Mr. Istvan, the point in case about how valued your cameras are. There you go.
Going back to that battle between David Williams, Sedgwick and Mika Essays. Essays' car is really badly damaged at the front as well. So I can't remember if he was involved in that first lap incident at the start.
Who was that? Sorry, I just checking the comments.
Mika Essays.
Let's have a look.
I say Bushfink
on
racing
the
livery.
front right. Yeah, I guess he got picked up something somewhere there. Doesn't look great, but still doing a good job to stick with these guys, even though they've got past on that damage on the front right. Maybe the community that's in the YouTube right now, just give us some feedback. How robust is this car? You guys have obviously drove it in loads of hosted sessions and whatnot right now. Does it take a bit of a whack? I mean, because that one looks like it took a hit and it's still shacking around.
I'm just looking through the top 10, and obviously, Manea's car looks absolutely pristine at the moment. Vob just behind him, he's got the same kind of damage as Essays. Castrolito, same again. For the laps I've done around here, the car rides the curves well, but obviously some of these higher curves, when you hit them hard enough, they are going to do some damage. So that's something to look out for. Just
a bit of splitter damage there and things like that, so making a bit of a difference. The boss 1 point, just over a second behind at the minute, so they'll need to pick up the slipstream again now and see if he can close that gap back down.
We're just coming up to this straight that leads you back to the start finish. This is really where any car you drive around here can give it the full beans. Sit back, relax a little bit.
I have to say, when we were at the Sim Racing Expo last year. Had a lot of fun. We took a taxi. It's going to sound really boring, but obviously the taxi's an M3 BMW. The guy's done over 3,000 laps around here. Absolutely belted it around here. Absolutely awesome. So, one thing I think you don't really get the appreciation on iRacing, the undulation. You know, the compressions and the G's and whatnot that are involved in going around in this circuit. It's just crazy. So 4/10 closed up down that back straight then for Voss. So not as close as he was the previous lap. So Alex trying to break away a little bit now. So 9/10 of a second again.
Lap times between the top three really close. Manea at a 6:49.8. Vob just behind him, and Casolito as well, 6:49.9. So a 1/10 of a second in it.
Then you think over the little look further back as well. There's not really any battles going on out there. Just a little bit of separation really with everyone. We've got obviously this William Sedgwick and Mika battle. There's also Jürgen Frank and Kevin here having their little battle. Kevin all up on the curbs right there. Timu just behind them, struggling a little bit. Got some damage, I think. So another one of the victims from the first crash that we had. Eunice, good to see Eunice back out on the circuit. We haven't seen him for a little while, but tucked up behind Noel at the moment. And then we've got Renz just trying to recover. His car took a fair whack as well. But it's worth pointing out the last lap that Renz did as well was 5 seconds quicker than the leaders. So the man's flying, but unfortunately he's too far back to do anything about it.
Yeah, I think he's definitely going to struggle with top end speed as well. Passing around here, for mere mortals like myself, it's nearly impossible unless the person in front of you makes a mistake, goes off track and ditches it, and then you simply drive past in class that has a passing maneuver. He's going to have some issues making his way through the field. But they're coming through, and if you look at everybody from about Jürgen Frank, steady stream of cars coming through the field. It has to be said, again, with the length of the track from first down to Brem, who's in 19th place in the and still running. It's only a 28 second spread across the field. So you get a car about every 1.5 seconds on average coming through a particular point on the track.
Pretty impressive actually when you think about it. You know, the guys are still in such close proximity, and there's some damaged cars out there and everything. Just the technicality of the circuit as well. So yeah, awesome split we've got here.
Renz Brickman is having a little look at Maximilian Scheider. He's got the pace to if he gets past him to pull away, but you can clearly see he's got to play the patient game right now.
The one thing about the circuit as well is, it's quite narrow. It is difficult to get moves done, and I've watched many a Skippy, and I think we had like Formula Renault race here as well, where drivers have I stood there and in real life and watched the cars go through there, and I think it's difficult to get moves done. That's the thing, until you get to some of the really big straights. So you have to be really, really patient, and I think that's what Brookman's finding right now.
It's so much concentration that required as well to get yourself around the track. And if you're behind someone and then you see an opportunity, it might be a valid opportunity to go for the pass. I think there's always the risk as well that you're going to surprise the guy in front of you. Kevin Mostert making his way past Jürgen Frank.
That's
up
exactly
into,
the one that I just
place.
saw. So you could see how little room there was when they were side by side there. But great move and opportunity to fight straight back, possibly.
Certainly an interesting livery that Frank's got on his car there, and I think it's the same livery that Maximilian Scheider is running. It is indeed.
You're right. Yep. So a couple of teammates there. or as he makes a little mistake at the carousel.
It's such a familiar corner, but it's such an annoying corner as well. If you don't keep the car down on that little banking on the bottom of the apex of the corner, it simply slides up, and it's so easy to stick it into the barrier on the outside.
Right, it's worth pointing out at this point, Alex is away. 1.9 seconds now. Voss has got a tall order to close up. He's got to absolutely nail it. He's got Castrolido right on his tail. I think Ricciardo, if he can get close enough this time as well, he should be able to get back up into second, because I don't think Voss has got the slipstream anymore. 1.8 seconds, usually just a little bit too far back.
Oh, just watching Castrolido coming around that corner and down that little sort of drop. The car getting airborne.
Yeah, awesome. And actually the fourth and fifth as well, so Lucas and Ericsson, they're basically right with these guys now as well.
Well, it's certainly going to be an interesting last lap. You say Manea's he's got a gap there. He's not under real pressure at the moment, but these next four behind them, any kind of mistake is going to end up more than likely as a race-ending incident as they come up to start the final lap, just on this back straight.
Voss is trimmed out more than Castrolido, because even in the slipstream, Castrolido's barely closing up. So yeah, that core car really trimmed out. Bit more downforce on the radicals.
And somebody did do a little experiment around here, and went through every single setting on the rear wing to see what the top speed was that you could hit in the car on every one of the wing settings. And you'll be surprised that on the lowest wing setting, it's not that big a difference to the highest wing setting. I think from the lowest to the highest, the total speed difference, I think, is about 5 miles an hour, or 8 kilometers an hour if you use the metric system.
Yeah,
so there's not
crazy.
much in it.
Just such a long straight as well, and the time to get up there. And I think, with the draft as well, it just negates that. So yeah, makes some sense.
So if you have the car in front running a low wing, it's certainly going to pay off. It's just almost going to give the car behind you no chance to catch up if it's running a little bit more downforce. Right, so we're into the last lap. No need to look at the clock here to see if they're going to make another lap or not, because there's certainly not. Only 3.5 minutes left. It's now or never for these guys.
What we have missed is Jake Sedgwick has managed to get himself past David Williams, so they're very, very close again. Williams trying to fight back in this lap if he can.
Oh, Williams got a good run. Is he going to look for a move? Is Sedgwick going to go defensive? Are they going to go side by side through this corner? Oh, David Williams doing so well to keep hold of that car. Alongside him is Mika Essays. He's just there, ready to pounce on anything that's going to go wrong in front of him. I think that might have been a bit of a dirty pants moment for David Williams.
Yeah, I think you're right there. And now under pressure himself as well. Switching up to the battle for second place as well, because Ricciardo, as close as he ever has been to Voss. Oh, look at that! Both cars just sort of drifting out of their rear tyres, just starting to light up a little bit now. I have to chuckle. I had to buy the car to do the broadcast. I still haven't drove it.
It is
literally tonight. I was just like, oh god, I've got to buy it.
It's different. It's not just a car that you're going to jump into and be quick. You have to get used to it. Oh, Castrolito getting really close to the back of Bob there. But you've read the feedback from the community. iRacing, I think, has done an amazing job with the car, and I'm gonna say the next thing I'm gonna say it, and I'm gonna duck for cover. But I think just after the Radical, this is the best sounding car on the service.
Actually, I do. Yeah, see, I do enjoy the way it sounds. And you're right, I love the Radical as well. When they changed that sound, when was that? Was it that, or did they tease us with the Lotus 79 sound? Do you remember that little video clip that they did? All of a sudden, we could hear it whining in the background.
Yes,
that was a great video clip, and that's a great video shot.
But yeah, iRacing can certainly be proud of themselves for the job they've done on this Porsche, and hopefully there's a few more to come. Fingers crossed soon.
Yeah, like we said, like that's been saying in the chat right now, it's been a pretty good race, but I think the racing is going to be even better once we start getting to some proper race circuits. It is very, very narrow here. It's really difficult to overtake. It's it's more about waiting for drivers to make mistakes than anything. I think once we hit some of the other circuits, and talking about other circuits, we've got plenty of time to have a look where we're going for the rest of the season. Of course, Season 2 schedules are being arranged now, so if you want to put your 2 pence in there, head on over to the forum and get involved, of course. So next race up, or next week, same time, is going to be Okayama. And then after Okayama, we are at Montreal. And we're heading to Le Mans as well. That'll be a fantastic race. And then the last race of the season, you'll like this one, Conrad. It's at Summit Point.
I had a bit of jet action around Summit Point last night. It was great fun. It should be a good track for this car, in all honesty. Yeah, it's got a good mix of corners, and fast ones, slow ones, nice long straight, and it should be really good. Okayama, I think, is going to be great as well. But coming back to this is. It might be difficult to pass around here, but it's a fantastic way to start our broadcast and start the series for this particular car. It's a Porsche GT3 Cup around the Nurburgring. What more do you want? We're not here this week to commentate on who's passing who and who's going side by side where, or who pulled off an overtake here and there. It's about these cars around this iconic track. And it's just great to watch them coming around these corners. Right, we're coming towards the end of the lap. Unless Alexander Menea does something incredibly dumb, he is going to take the race win. And it's all down to Castrolito and Vob here for second place. Castrolito is going to have to get himself close enough as they come down on this straight. Past the where I guess you guys got in the taxi.
Yeah, well, we literally pulled off around about here. So afterwards.
So Castrolito is just not gaining enough, is he?
He's not got enough.
He's only
There's
got
good
like
battle behind
3
as well.
miles
They're
an hour.
side by side. That's Lucas and Ericsson.
Yetstad is losing out there with that damaged rear wing. He's doing 277 km
he's so
an hour.
close. Castrolito, he's not going to make it. Here comes our winner, though. Drove fantastic. Oh, he just has one mistake. There we go. That's his only mistake, but it's all good.
Oh, so close between Castrolito and Vop across the line. Literally 1.5 tenths in it at the end, and we've got Kim Eriksson coming across the line in 4th, Lucas Yetstad holding on to 5th place, Sebastian Dinkel in 6th, Peter Kotavara in 7th place. I'm just waiting for the rest of them to come across the line. Oh, somebody crashing it right on the start finish. Who was that? Mika Essays. Yeah, here David Williams right behind him, giving it the beans across the start finish line, sticking it in the wall for good measure, but it's did enough to keep hold of his place, 9th place. David Williams finishing in 10th.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. It's going to be a good, it's going to be a good championship. I'm sure of it. We get up and full flowing and proper tracks and whatnot.
I mean, that was rather impressive. From 1st to 19th, they were covered by 38 seconds, and we lost. It was about 4 or 5 cars at the start. If we had kept hold of them, then I'm sure we'd have had a lot more fireworks coming into this last lap. But that's a great way to kick off the season and get the series running, and it's definitely it's looking good for the remaining 4 weeks.
It's just some people asking in regards to an interview. If you don't know the details, just post them in here.
Right. While you're sorting out,
yeah, we'll just give it a couple
interview.
of minutes. I'll just see if I can find I'll get a replay at least of the start, and
I'll start running through the finishing order. So we had Alexander Manea taking the first win of the first official broadcast of the Porsche iRacing Cup Series. 2.8 seconds behind him was Alexander Vop, with Ricardo Casolito taking 3rd place, Kim Eriksson in 4th, Lucas Jestad in 5th place, Sebastian Dinkel in 6th, Petteri Kotovara in 7th, Jack Sedgwick in 8th place, Mika Essays in 9th, David Williams in 10th, Kevin Mostert in 11th place, Jürgen Frank in 12th place, Timu Valkajavi in 13th, Rens Brookman making a recovery after his first lap crash. He managed to gain another 6 spots from there. He's finished in 14th place, Jonas Nukarinen in 15th, Maximilian Scheider in 16th place, Noel Lindberg in 17th, Manuel Sanchez in 18th place, Jochen Brem in 19th, and then we had a couple of non-finishers, most of them victims, right at the beginning of the race. Miko was in 20th place, Adria Perez in 21st, Rica Aletalo 22nd, Joseph Valgren in 23rd, and Moritz Lorna in 24th place.
having a little look at the at the replays of the start back. We've got Alex coming in for an interview as well, so we'll just have a look at this one more time and we'll bring him up. But yeah, absolute carnage. I think it was Riku that got hit from behind, wasn't it? And that's what started it. Yep, that little spin just there, boof. And then, wow, all sorts of shenanigans followed. So, that's a few $1 million worth of repairs we're going to be needed there in the real world.
Yeah. It's a race broadcast. Looking forward to it, and for it to end that early is it's a bit of a shame.
All right, let's bring Alex in, and I'll hand it over to you, mate.
Hey guys, can you hear me fine?
Yep.
Yeah, we're good. Alexander, that was rather impressive. First of the qualifying time you set, and then taking the race win on our first broadcast. How was that race for you? Because we saw, we picked up fairly early on that you could pull away a little bit at the start of the lap, and then the two guys behind you, Gastrolito and Vop, just closed up a little bit.
Well, the race was quite stressful. I wasn't feeling very well in the car. For some reason, the balance wasn't as good on race fuel as it was on quali fuel. And to have such big names behind you is really stressful, especially at a track like this. I managed not to make too many big mistakes, and keep them behind.
Another thing we were talking about earlier on in the race is the qualifying time. You said it was 6:45 is absolutely blistering. Just how well do you have to know the track and be confident you can push the limits in order to hit lap times like that?
Yeah, that lap was pretty special. In terms of knowing the track, I don't know. I have a reasonable amount of experience on it. I raced in the Nurburgring 24, and I did some of the VLN rounds. And I also have quite a bit of practice this week because school is over, so I had a lot of time. But I don't know. I think it was mainly just luck that lap. I don't know. It's much faster than anything else as I did all week long. So I was in disbelief, to be honest.
I can promise you, there's nothing lucky about a lap like that. Somebody like me making it around the track, that is lucky. I'm looking forward to the coming weeks. Obviously, we've got Okayama coming up next week. You're expecting to make this race again for next week? Grace us with your presence and entertain us once again.
Probably. I'm not sure. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of Okayama, to be honest, but I think I'll be there. I hope.
As the name is on the map now, it's you're gonna if you carry on in this vein, you're quite quickly gonna build up a fan base. Bossy is gonna expect you to be there. But that was a great race, and it was very well controlled from the front. Congratulations!
Thank you so much.
Awesome, right, mate. Before we let you go, do you want to just give a quick shout out? Obviously, I know that you're part of Radicals, and we didn't have your livery on there, so
yes, of
give
course.
you a chance to do that.
That's my fault. I forgot to upload the paint on Trading Paint. I think Paul will kill me about it, but yeah, thanks to Radicals, especially to Ricardo. The setup work was really good this week, as it always is. So yeah, and thanks to our sponsors, SteelSeries and Aster Simrace and JRT.
Awesome, thanks very much, mate. Enjoy your evening, and yeah, we hope to see you next week.
Thanks. See you guys.
Hi, mate. Wow, first one down. I think it's going to be a fun series. A lot of interest in it from a lot of good drivers as well, and it's good to see some returning faces as well. Unfortunately, the race didn't go as planned for them, as some of them ended up somersaulting and all sorts. But yeah, it was going to be great, I think.
Yeah, there's been quite a few names in here, which we're more accustomed to seeing in single seaters. But yeah, it's a great attraction for the guys that want to drive 10 tops. I mean, what more do you want than a Porsche? Who doesn't love a Porsche? You know what? I was looking, and a lot of Scandinavians in here tonight. They obviously have got something for this particular car.
Yeah, you're right. I think the field very strong all the way through. 7 splits as well. I mean, geez, you know, that's impressive. So I think we could have gone into split 2 and it'd have still been impressive, you know.
Yeah, it's something about this track, and you know, especially with this car as well. It's such a unique combination, and I've noticed before that you get people who purely just drive the track. It doesn't matter what car it is around the track. They drive just this. And I was fortunate enough to, I think, end up in the second split earlier in the week, and we went through the results after we finished, and I think there was about 6 splits as well, and I looked at the results for the 6 split. The guy who won that was still 10 seconds a lap quicker than I was. So yeah, our rating around here means very little to nothing.
Cool. Thank you very much for joining me, and thanks everybody for tuning in as well. For those that are still listening to us drone on, stick around on Apex Racing TV. Wow, I say stick around. It's 2 o'clock in the morning, UK time. So it's the Rikmatech Sports Car Series, and yeah, that's going to be a great fun race as well. Spa in the Mustang and the MX-5 motocross. Yeah, if you're up and you can't sleep and you want to count some sheep and things like that, you know, tune in, have some fun, chat to us on the on YouTube. Be good to see you there. But always a pleasure, my friend. And once again, thanks everybody watching. We'll catch you next week for Okayama.